One day, Edward was feeling left out. Then Duck came in to comfort Edward. "What's the matter there, Edward? Why are you sad?" asked Duck. He felt sorry for Edward. "Diesel 10 says that I'm old and unreliable." "Well, Edward," said Duck, "that's not true because I know how you are. You are very good at being a back engine, and plus, I think you should stick up for yourself. I'll tell you what, if you have any more problems with Diesel 10, come talk to me and I'll help you," said Duck. This made Edward feel much better. "Thank you, Duck," said Edward. Then Duck backed up to move out of Edward's way, and then Edward puffed away to go get some cars full of Hopper. Edward was on his way to the quarry. Then he saw Spencer struggling up the hill. Edward stopped behind Spencer. "Don't worry, Spencer," said Edward. "I'll help you up the hill." Spencer snorted. "Pah, no way you can help me," said Spencer crossly, "because you're just an old and unreliable engine." "Oh yeah? We'll see about that," said Edward. Then he buffered up behind Spencer. Edward heaved and hawed. At last, Spencer's wheels started to move. Edward pushed Spencer up the hill. Spencer was very impressed. "Well done, Edward. You really are strong and reliable." He felt sorry for what he said. Later, Edward arrived at the quarry to go fill his cars up with Hopper. Then Edward saw something that made his eyes pop wide open. There, coming into the quarry, was Diesel 10. "Hello, Edward," laughed Diesel 10. "You're too old to be working here. I think it's time to retire you." This made Edward cross. "Stop it. I am very reliable." "Oh yeah? We'll see about that." He crunched his claw. Then he pushed Edward under the hopper. Then dust from the hopper rolled all over Edward. "Ha ha ha, see you later, you silly steamy," laughed Diesel 10, and he rolled away. Edward was very cross. "I'll show that crunching claw," he said crossly. Then Edward filled one more car up with dust from the hopper. Then he puffed away. Then Edward saw Duck at a junction. "Duck, look what Diesel 10 did to me," said Edward crossly. "Don't worry, Edward," said Duck. "I will be your back engine, then after that I'll take it to the washdown, and then me and you will teach that crunching claw a lesson." Then Edward puffed on, and Duck went to go be his back engine. Then Duck took Edward to the washdown. "Thank you for helping me," said Edward. "My pleasure," said Duck. "There is 2 ways of doing it. The Great Western way and the wrong way. Even though you're not Great Western, but for me, you did it the Great Western way." "Thank you," said Edward. Then Duck and Edward went to go find Lady. At last, Duck and Edward found Lady. "Lady, we need your help," said Duck. "Yeah," said Edward. "Ever since Diesel 10 came back, he said I'm old and unreliable and he pushed me under the hopper."
"Don't worry," said Lady. "I will teach that Diesel 10 a lesson."
Then Lady followed Edward and Duck. Then Edward, Duck, and Lady found Diesel 10.
Well, Diesel 10,
said Lady crossly.
"You remember me? I heard what you did to Edward, and you're going to pay, which is I'm going to make your claw jammed for the rest of your life. You'll never be able to crunch it again."
Diesel 10 was frightened.
"Get back here, Diesel 10,
said Lady crossly. Lady was chasing Diesel 10, and then Diesel 10 hit the buffers and came right off the tracks. Edward and Duck laughed. "Ha ha ha, that's what you get, Diesel 10. "Yes," said Edward, "this is what you get for saying that I'm old and unreliable." "Thanks for your help, Duck, and thank you, Lady," said Edward. "No problem," said Duck. "I'm always here for you."
"Of course," said Lady. "Anything Diesel 10 does to you, I will be there to help you. That's why nobody messes with the magical engine like me," said Lady happily. "And Diesel 10, since you said that I'm not useful, well, guess what? Says the one without any magic powers, so you can't be talking."
Diesel 10 was so embarrassed he had nothing to say.